Today's recipe for our mango sticky rice just has 5 ingredients. 6 if you count water, but when you see those 5 easy ingredient recipe type thing, they never count water. Hi guys, and welcome back to my kitchen. If you are new here, my name is Kaylie, and today in my kitchen, it's a good day. It's always a good day, but it's an especially good day because we are making a dessert. Today we're gonna be making a very simple, quick, easy mango sticky rice. I can't wait to share this Thai street food with you today. It's so delicious and it's so simple. We'll break it down, go through the ingredients, and then get cooking. It should be all ready to go in about 15-20 minutes. So 5 ingredients in our mango sticky rice. When we're using this, obviously we're going to be using rice, but we have to use a very particular type of rice. For sticky rice, you're looking for the bag to say sticky rice or glutinous rice or sweet rice, something like that. You'll know that you're in the right ballpark if you're looking at rice that is a little bit smaller in grain and has a bit of a rounder shape. Kind of like arborio rice when you make a risotto, but it's slightly different. So glutinous rice, sticky rice, sweet rice, if you see any of those words, you know that you've got the right stuff. For the mangoes, you want to find some yellow mangoes. These ones are a little bit small. I know the ones you can find in Thailand that grow natively there are huge, but you do want yellow mangoes. They're a little bit sweeter and they're far less stringy than those big sort of green and red skinned mangoes that you find at the grocery store. We want them to be sweet and less stringy. That way we can cut them up and they'll nicely just sit on top of our sticky rice. To bring some sweetness into our sticky rice, we're also going to be using some coconut milk. I've just got 1 can of coconut milk here today. To balance everything out, we've got a pinch of salt and then a little bit of sugar. The trick with the sticky rice is to rinse it out and actually have it soaking in water before you start to cook it through. So right here I have my sticky rice that I've rinsed through. When you rinse it, just like you do with all other rice, you want to keep rinsing it until the water comes out clear. That way you get rid of any of those little bits of rice powder or extra starch. You want to make sure that you've got enough water in there just to cover all of the rice. This rice I actually had soaking overnight. If you can soak your rice for about 6 hours, so maybe start prepping this in the morning, that would be amazing. Even if you only have an hour to soak your rice, that'll do. And in that hour, you can watch a few more of our videos. So you've got awesome Thai recipes, appetizers, mains, we've got you covered. On the packaging of rice, it will give you different methods to cook. If you don't have the traditional type of steamer and what we're going to be doing today, you can also microwave it. So just keep an eye out on the pack of rice that you have. There is a really beautiful traditional Thai rice steamer. I'll insert a picture somewhere in here. They're huge and you can cook a lot more rice. Because I'm just making enough sticky rice for 2 people, I'm going to be using my little bamboo steamer today. One thing you do want to also do, if you can, line whatever kind of steamer you are using. That way your rice doesn't stick. It is sticky rice. Today I'm going to be using these little cheesecloth wraps. They fit perfectly into my bamboo steamer. Before you put the sticky rice into your steamer, you want to pour out as much water as possible. And then even when you're taking the rice, I've got clean hands, you can scoop it up and kind of squeeze any extra water out before you put it into the steamer. Just that way you don't have as much moisture in there. I've got my rice inside the steamer. For this recipe, it yields about 2 to 3 servings. As always, I will link down below the recipes that I've used for reference. For 2 to 3 servings, I only used 1 cup of sticky rice. I'm just gonna cover that one up and show you how we can steam it. I found when trying to steam lots of stuff, the best thing to do is use a wok. You want to make sure that the wok or whatever setup you have is wide enough so that the diameter of the steamer can fit inside the wok. To get the steam going inside the wok, what I'm going to do is put about 1 cup to 1.5 cups of water, just enough to kind of cover the bottom of the wok, and bring that up to a boil on my stovetop. As soon as it reaches a boil, I'm going to turn the heat down just so it's at a light simmer. That's when I'll put the steamer into the wok. That needs to steam for about 15 or 20 minutes. It kind of depends on your cooking setup. While the rice is steaming in the back, we're gonna get started with the coconut milk, which is gonna be the sweet sauce that will mix with the rice and top the whole dessert off with at the end. Today we're using coconut milk straight from the can. I'm using 1 full can of coconut milk. I'm gonna be putting that into a little saucepan and putting that up to about a medium-high heat. I want it to come to a simmer, but not a boil because the coconut milk will curdle, so just a nice simmer. However long the rice takes in the back is usually how long I keep it at a simmer. It will thicken up a little bit in there. To that coconut milk, we're gonna add just a pinch of salt, so about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and anywhere between 3 to 4 tablespoons of white sugar. It's personal preference, so the sweeter you like it, you can go 4 tablespoons. If you don't want it as sweet, you could go with 3 tablespoons. So I've got everything inside the saucepan: coconut milk, 4 tablespoons of sugar, and a little pinch of salt. I'm just stirring that. It doesn't have to be continuous, but do keep an eye out on it because you do not want it to boil and start to curdle or break apart. So far, so good. I'm gonna let that thicken up a little bit, and as that's happening, since everything is really close by, I can also start getting the mangoes ready to go. So the bulk of the time for this recipe comes from just steaming the rice. It's at 15-20 minutes, and once that's done, everything is ready to be plated up. So I'm gonna be using my very sharp knife to peel off the mango skin. I wanna peel it off to make sure I'm taking off as little mango as possible. That way I've got as much of the fruit to use in the dessert. I'm no Thai street food vendor, but I know that this is Thai style. Cutting fruits, veggies, everything in your hand, their knife skills are just impeccable. When I'm peeling it this way in my hand, I only peel until the sides. I actually leave the bottom of the skin there, so I've got a little bit of grip. So one side totally peeled. Now I'm gonna use my knife to carefully find the pit, so kind of go in at an angle. Once I feel some resistance, I know the pit is there, then I'm gonna lay my knife nice and flat and carefully cut through. Is it cool? Woohoo! And there's the pit. I'm gonna put that right back on, slice it down the middle, and then I'm gonna slice it horizontally into some nice little pieces. For today's recipe, for each portion, I'm just gonna use about half of a mango sliced up. I'm just having a little midday snack. If you want a bigger portion or if you have smaller mangoes, feel free to add the whole mango. It's totally up to you. Right now, my coconut milk is thickening up a little bit. I am gonna give it a taste. So it's really important to give your food a bit of a taste as you're cooking it. That way you can decide if it's sweet enough, if it needs a bit more sugar, if you think it needs more salt. Be careful, it's very hot. I like that. I've turned the heat off on this pot here. I think it is good, and I also think it's time to take a look at the rice. It's been about 15 minutes, but you'll know that the rice is done when you take a look at it and it's a little bit more translucent. Oh, look at that. Now that our steamed rice is done, we're gonna very carefully take it out of the steamer. Inside this bowl, we're gonna put all of the steamed rice and about 3/4 of the coconut milk mixture that we've made. You do wanna save a little bit of coconut milk because at the very end, once we've got our rice and mango all plated up, we're gonna top everything with a little bit more coconut milk. I'm excited, it's so good. It's all ready to go. So we've got our nice heaping portion of mango sticky rice and then a little bit more of that coconut milk poured on top. If you want the coconut milk a little bit thicker, just cook it a little bit longer. Again, just at that nice gentle simmer. Now when it comes to mango sticky rice, I have seen a few different toppings that you could add. I've seen it with sesame seeds. I've also seen it with some dried mung beans, among other things. I'm just gonna leave it like this for today. Let's try. Ooh. That's a good bite. That's awesome. I almost wish there was more mango. Maybe I'll add some more after. The sticky rice has absorbed all of that coconut milk, so it's nice and sweet and very soft. Still sticky though. And then with the fresh mango on top, the fresh sweet mango, it's so refreshing. If you give this recipe a try, please don't forget to tag me on any and all social media. It was so easy, and honestly, all of these ingredients you could find at a grocery store nearby. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. We had our 100 subscriber very fun video that we filmed and uploaded a few weeks ago. We would love to be able to do the same with a 500 subscriber, so hit that button, hit the notification bell, make sure you don't miss a single weekly post, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.